Okay, it's our last day in Argentina, and so we want to summarize a few things. So I have some interview questions. And number one is, what surprised you about Argentina?
What surprised me was just the city. It's a huge city. Um, I don't spend a lot of time in Dallas. Never been on the public transportation in Dallas. This place was packed, and yeah, that's what I was surprised about.
It's hard to put into words what surprised me because I had been to Nicaragua back in college, and I expected this to be more like Nicaragua. I heard it was going to be winter down here, so further from the equator. Uh, but from my memory in Nicaragua, yes, in the city, the roads were very much like America, but I also just expected that more, um, more would be, I don't know, less modern, I guess, than it is here because we had spent a few days here, and then I told Johora that it's just still unreal to me because we've been doing life as normal, kind of, except we are in Argentina, so we are in a completely different country. And he said it's funny that it is still the same. It's like society just runs as society usually does. It's not like extremely different here.
Okay, what would you change?
The number one thing I would change is we would have to change the way we schedule the readers because there were so many cancellations. Like we have 7 scheduled each day. It would have been nice to have 8 or 9 scheduled each day. They had this 12 o'clock gap that never got filled because they said people didn't want to sign up at that time. So maybe adjust the hours a little bit so we could get more readers in. But then people would reschedule. So it would be nice to have a way where maybe we double booked, and if somebody rescheduled, at least we covered everybody. We covered multiple people.
No, I have to say the same thing. Cancellations hurt, and so that's it.
What did you learn?
I learned when going to a new country, try to learn the language, just so you could communicate. I learned how important communication is, especially when you're trying to move around. I also learned, like Camille was saying, people do their life here. People in the church have the same struggles that we have in America, the church, and we're all fighting the same fight against the devil and against what's happening in society.
I guess I learned that it is great how Christ joins us across different cultures because the people we feel are most loving and bonded to us here are the people from the church. So it's great how welcoming they are, despite the fact we aren't from their church. We're all one church, like Jesus said that we should be, which is great. I learned that people talk in Spanish really, really fast. I knew that, but it's too hard to understand them. And it's funny because when I'm working with a beginner English speaker, they're like, slow down. It's funny how natural it is for us to talk quickly, but how hard it is to understand when people talk quickly, because I can read a lot of Spanish. I cannot hear much Spanish.
Once again, I guess I understand now better the inner city and the hustle and bustle of the inner city and how much is not for me. That's probably my biggest takeaway is understanding a big city, the train waking you up early in the morning, the trash can banging at all hours of the night, people in the trash can just looking for things on the side of the road, people one thing that I noticed, they have actual twin size mattresses on a bed. The homeless do sleeping, almost on every quarter, just right in the middle of the city, and you just walk past them. Everyone just walk past them, and yeah.
I think I understand a little bit of how people look at America now, because having been in America, we know what we think of ourselves. We don't know what people from other countries think of ourselves. And from the people I've visited with, the readers, I feel like they still see America as we see that it was. They see America as a beacon of Christianity for the world. They see America as a leader in democracy. Meanwhile, we are concerned about the direction it's going and about the things that we're giving up as far as our freedoms and as far as social changes. And so it's interesting, those things. And I just really loved the opportunity to get to talk to people about culture, cultural differences, and learn all those things here. So it's been great. What was funny or weird to you?
There's really nothing funny or weird. I mean, there's funny situations that are gonna happen when there's a language barrier, but nothing funny happened. There's just a lot of anxiousness of, are we going the right way on the subway? Are we gonna make it to a train on time before it shuts down? Where's the running part? I never did find. One thing funny that did happen, I was going to lunch with a lady who lives here, and we were going to meet everybody, and we walked like 4 blocks in the wrong direction, and I was like, should she know where this is? And I should have known where it was, but with this, in the city, once again, all the tall buildings, like everything's right there on top of you, and I lost my way around. It was horrible. So I guess that was funny.
It's funny to me, the subway is the most efficient way to get around. People take buses, but there's always traffic. If you get on the subway, there's no traffic. So it's funny to me, you have to ride the subway, figure out the path. It's funny to me they don't have north, south, east, and west, because when I'm looking at a map, I'm thinking, we need to go north, we need to go west. But they say this train goes to, and they say the last stop that the train goes to. So you got to figure out what's the last stop, and that's the direction you want to go. But you got to get up out of the subway, and then you have to orient yourself, like, okay, so what's where, which direction? And so many times we will head this direction and then find out our dot's moving the opposite way we want to go. And so then we have to head the opposite direction.
That only happened one time.
No, multiple times for me.
Oh.
Yes. I don't know, just some funny things about people. Like there was a girl with piercings right here on the subway. So many times we're wondering, like, as we're talking in English, do people understand us? Because it seems like a smaller percentage here know English than you would have expected as an American. And so I'm just wondering how many people know what we're saying. But it's been a good experience, good opportunity to learn.
So what was your favorite restaurant?
Well, I guess just like in America, it depends on which location you go to. Because if we go to Chipotle in Greenville, it's better than the Chipotle in Rockwall. So here it's the same. At first we were trying restaurants and we were ordering stuff kind of blind because our phones were not working at translating because our internet was not working. So finally we found Kentucky Pizza. Kentucky Pizza. Why? I don't know. Kentucky's not known for their pizza. But it was the one spot that actually had pepperonis on their pizza, not just ham and cheese.
And eggs.
And tomatoes, like whole tomatoes sliced onto. So anyway, it was pretty good. It was really good. The crust was good, and usually we were disappointed by the breads here, so the crust was good. And we ate that one, and then later we saw another one. We went to that one. That one was the best. The waiter came to us. He slowly explained the numbers because I know my Spanish numbers, but I didn't practice. And so when they say it real fast, I have to, that number, that number, that number, that number. And then we went to one last night because I wanted something easy to order where we don't have to slowly figure out the menu and figure out what we want. That one was gross. Like, I don't know what they did. They didn't prepare it right. So Kentucky pizza is the best depending on which one you go to. How about you?
Well, not surprising. My favorite was a restaurant over in the newer area of the city. I think it's called Italiana or something like that. And once again, it was pizza, but they had American subtitles under what it said in Spanish. So I knew what I was ordering. Pepperoni pizza. And it was good. And so that was probably my favorite restaurant. Not my favorite to want to go back, because I'm sick of pizza. But that was my favorite restaurant.
Sienna, I think, ordered the burger, and hers was actually a really good burger. Jav and Sienna have been ordering burgers like once a day here. The meat is good. I don't like the bread. They discovered that the mustard here is sweet, and so it will ruin things for you if you put mustard on stuff. But Jehora's right, that place was good. Now, it's funny. It's in a big tourist, new built area, Plaza de Mayo. People say it's expensive. I think we spent 20 American dollars for the four of us. So that's one good thing about here. Everything costs a lot less in American dollars. But yeah, 20 is expensive. That's very different from home.